welcome brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything, politics, religion, socio-economic issues, any topical issue of the day, we speak about it. And you can pick up your telephone and give us a call. And you can change the subject matter anytime you want. Today, Catholics are celebrating the feast of St. Peter and St. Paul. Two powerful individuals in the Catholic Church. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. Thank you, caller. I think sometimes we distort the truth. We camouflage the truth. Or we put all the truths in a bucket and shake it up and want to express it. At that period of time, I don't think they was genuine. What they want is for shared political power. And Kit Mitchell is a smart man. You know that cannot work in Grenada. We just come from the issue when Maurice Bishop said he did not understand the workability of joint leadership. What the NDC was initiating or lobbying for at that time was shared political power, not working together. They wanted shared political power, and Kit Mitchell was correct. To the democratic process, choose the group that are going to run the country. It does not mean that you cannot work with the government. So you're correct, caller. You know, and it's important. We like to twist the truth. But we have to understand this is not in the 70s when only two journalists roam the media and presented to the world what they want about Grenada. Today, We have over 25 radio stations. About 30 of them have license. They're on and off. In addition to the internet and social media galore. So we have freedom of expression in Grenada. So when people twist the truth, they must be taken on sometimes. And I'm glad you raised the point, Color. Is a difference for asking people to work together or asking people to share political power. Joint leadership never work in Grenada. Even Maurice Bishop, who say, I agree with the principle, he didn't understand the workability. Bright, smart liar. Instead of saying no, joint leadership cannot work, Maurice Bishop say he don't understand the workability. Bishop spoke with fat tongues so much that he came back to hunting. Like when he went in the government school, the Holy Comforter, and he said you could plant weed. And a number of people get up and ask him questions, and he said yes. And Fago take 2 years jail because he go to the police and tell the police they take his weed. And when the police tell him behave himself, he call them CIA agent. That was a common expression that time. Anytime you seems to show not strong inclination for the revolution, they will call you counter-revolutionary and CIA agent and threaten to put you under heavy manners. So over 3,000 Grenadians went to jail during that period of time. But you don't have to believe me when I speak. I always encourage people to do a little research, because you could always ask Tillman Thomas. He was in jail. Kenny Lal Singh. Budlal. These are the individuals that are very, they're in the public now and they're outspoken. So you could take a chance and call their name on radio. We must not forget these things. It is in the interest of every government to make the call to ask for people to work together. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the government and the opposition agreeing on anything. But because we are a small population, the government always have to make the call. And that's where Kit Mitchell understands that. He called first. I noted Mitchell wanted to make the point. The Prime Minister made the point. He didn't initiate the call. I thought it was unnecessary because he too have to initiate the call. And I'll tell you why we need to work together. As it ripples down in the communities, if you start a group and you decide you don't want NDC members or you don't want NNP members, that group fails. Because in the community, your resource personnel are limited. And particularly those who have the natural inclination in community building. Most of our brothers and sisters who have a briefcase or certificate, they do not participate in community building. Most of them. They do not participate in developmental organization and groups in the community. They believe they're in a different social class and they don't participate. The number to call is 442-0175 and we speak about anything. And we have our brother and sister on the live and greeting us. Good afternoon. And we welcome all visitors. You don't have to agree with us on this program. You don't have to agree with us. We are going to express our opinion on almost any issues we're comfortable with, particularly politics. If we have new information, we're changing your opinion and we apologizing. Our opinion is not cast in stone. It depends on the information we have on our own prejudice. So we welcome callers. And we take calls. I will stop in the middle of a sentence and take your call. Because what you have to say is always more important than mine. Most Catholics who went to Mass this morning would have been celebrating the solemnity of St. Peter and St. Paul. Two powerful individuals in the Catholic Church. Both of them was martyred in Rome by Emperor Nero. You know, sometimes when you're speaking about the Catholic Church, or when you're speaking about Christianity, there is more empirical evidence for Christianity and the Catholic Church than any other religion in the world. The African brothers and sisters like to talk about the African religion. The problem with it is there is not much empirical evidence. You have empirical evidence and deathbed witness. People was martyred for the faith. Only one disciple of Christ, only one that was not martyred. I think it was John. He was thrown in a pot of oil. He survived and he died by natural causes. All the other 11 disciples of Christ was martyred. And Paul and Peter, I don't think they was martyred the same day, but both of them was martyred by Nero, Emperor Nero in Rome, somewhere around 1668 AD. And as a result, the Catholic Church celebrate the feast or the solemnity of the martyrdom of Paul and Peter today. You know? So a number of Catholics, would go and do research, and you encourage people. When you're in a faith, you must know something about the faith. Particularly if you want to hold discussion. You don't have to defend the faith, but if you want to hold discussion with people on your faith and your spirituality, you must know why you do the things you do. The church like a lot of rituals. So you must know why you're doing it. You must know something about that feast. And today it is easy to research. Information is not only for a few bright ones. Information is not only for those who have money. I remember many years ago, we had to go to an individual in the community to beg him or to ask him to look in his encyclopedia. And I was very happy. Gave me opportunity to come in his home to research information in his encyclopedia. That time I used to go to the college on the hill as a young boy, about 8 or 9. And I'm glad after I do the research, he gave me some food too. I don't know if I like the food, he gave me more than the information I got at the time. We have a caller on the line. Caller, punch.
Excuse me. Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
You're talking about religion. I won't get into that because we just talk about information.
Go right ahead.
According to the information you got and I got, this is totally different information.
Yes, we may get it from different sources.
Yeah, because when I look at it, religion and Christianity is laughable for me, so I won't get into that. Yesterday, I was telling you about the Simon Cultural Center. So I'm calling on the new administration to pick up the mantle from where the past administration they was rebuilding the cultural center at Simon. I really appreciate that project because we really need a cultural center in the St. Andrews area because personally speaking, plenty of forum does be coming down into Grenada, but they usually have it down in St. George's, and we live up in the so-called countryside. So then it's hard for me to get down into St. George's to really, get involved, So building the cultural center in Simon, I hope the new administration take up the mantle and continue building there because a few weeks ago I passed down there and I see a work is started there. They demolished the old building that was left after the Ivan, and now they're doing some work there. So I hope the new administration pick up the mantle and continue.
I think they would. I think they would. I think they would do that.
Okay. And the first caller, I didn't hear the first caller. The first caller was very low, but no, you heard me properly.
Yes, I hear you properly.
The first caller was very low. Let me touch on something again. with in the traffic department of the RGPF, those who will put up the bombs, the speed bombs, what they must do, I give them advice. According if the speed bombs is, let me say, about down the street, they should put up a sign saying speed bomb is ahead, maybe about 100 yards away, so to indicate people that there is a speed bomb around. Because a little while I was traveling down on the that place that on West Hall area, me and a friend from England, and we was, because that's the first time he ever drive in Grenada, and going over the speed bumps, he nearly run off the road because he didn't know he had a speed bumps there, and I was in the back of the van, and my head ended up going right up to the roof, and I ended up getting a bad lash on my forehead because we didn't know there was a speed bump. So the guys and them who put in the speed bumps on the road, the traffic department, if they could let me say put about 100 yards away, put speed bumps ahead so people can know there is speed bumps up ahead.
Thank you,
Mr. Francis Pierre. That was all I gotta say.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Mr. Pierre. You have a nice day.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Grenada is a very small country. Sometimes, and we have a lot of vehicles in Grenada. Over the last 10, 12 years, we double the amount of vehicles we have. And these things is happening because people have discretionary income. And we have freedom. We could buy what we want. Nothing is wrong about that. The government have a speed limit of 35 miles an hour. And people have to respect that speed limit. It is not like you come out in England or America or the big countries where some part of the highway you could drive up to 80 and 90 miles an hour. Can't do that in Grenada. Outside of the town, you drive 35 miles an hour. You constantly have fowl, people, dog, pig, goat, cow, and balloon crossing the road on a regular basis. Anytime you see a balloon cross the road, a driver should expect a child coming behind the balloon. Anytime you see a child crossing the road, expect a dog coming behind it. There are certain things a driver must know. So drivers cannot be driving at this breakneck speed on the people road. How you would not be able to adjust if you see a balloon crossing the road. Because anytime a balloon crosses the road, a child coming. If you pass too quick near a donkey, the donkey going to kick the vehicle. You must make the donkey know you're coming. But if the vehicle driving too fast, it wouldn't happen. You have people learning to drive on the road. So if you're driving within 35, even though you go 40 miles an hour, you would have enough time to see the people. But if you're flying at 60, where you get the time? So a lot of our drivers are driving too fast. And it provides headache for the police. Because they have to go and take speed tests. And you could argue in court. And the speed machinery not working. Now in communist country, they just beat you over your head. But in Grenada is a civil democratic country. So our people have to be more responsible and drive within the speed limit. Particularly during the day. Particularly in areas that is seriously populated. Goat crow coming up, man have a goat going on the road, 9 goats in the hand, tie up with a piece of rope. Sometimes the goat tripping him and capsizing. Fowl crossing the road with a chicken. Cat running across the road. So we don't need to drive at breakneck speed. Yes, you're young. But at least by the time you have your license and the training course, you should do a little better. We have too much people showing scant regard for the law in our country. You know, and I think it's important. Don't expect the roads in Grenada to get wider. When they build the roads, was donkey cart and horse. And the country is small. Grenada is not as flat. So everybody want to live right by the road, near by the pipe stand. So there is not much room to expand the road to make 2 and 3 lane. And you could move, take about 1 hour or 55 minutes from any point in Grenada to another point. So what we need to do is to obey the law. Be more respectable. Be more responsible. If you see a funeral on the road, cut off your music. Slow down. It's a funeral. Where you want to go with this speed? You're not the ambulance. You're not the commissioner of police. You're not the prime minister. So you don't have no emergency. You're not doctor, you're not nurse. Where you going? If your house on fire, you can't help. They're supposed to call the fire brigade. If your wife's sick, let she call the doctor, get the nearest vehicle and bring her in the hospital. You're not doctor, you're not nurse. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, I understand that the new cabinet will be sworn in tomorrow at 4:30 on Thursday in the National Stadium. But what I want to say, I don't know if other parliamentarians, because I didn't hear anything. I guess everybody will be sworn in at the same time because everybody have to hold their weight together to develop the country. But when I listen to the international news, Mr. Pierre, what happened to Joe Biden and these people? The amount of money that is pumping into Ukraine for arms and ammunition.
What do you think? You think they should let Russia conquer Ukraine?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I understand what you're trying to say. We're just having a civilized conversation. I cannot understand mankind because Russia should desist. Russia should not be invading the other one's country. Russia, I understand your reason when we spoke before in terms of the thief threatening. But when you're dead, nobody can go with all this amount of land, and I really wish, I know it wouldn't happen, we're just talking, that they should desist from the war, because when you look at it, Mr. Pierre, the amount of money that Biden been pushing into Ukraine as the war continues, because Russia is not backing down, nobody not backing down, and all this amount of money should have been going to help mankind. When you have nuclear wars, when you have army, you have all, and people are suffering all over the world. So my point to you is this: I really wish all sides should stop, because the amount of money that's pumping into the war, I can't support this sort of a thing, Mr. Pierre. When people are suffering, you know. So this is my contribution. I really wish all sides would stop, because when you die, you can't go with no land. You can't go with nothing. So all this amount of money that's pumping in to the war on both sides, and people are suffering. The oil price going up. You can't get wheat, and so much. You just had to name the problems right through. I'm talking about right through because of this war, and all this amount of money that's pumping in. Joe Biden sent some for us down here so we could pay them pensioners, or we could develop our country, the hospitals, etc. There's too much money pumping in war to destroy mankind. And what is mankind? By the time you turn out two things, they're dead and go. Because everybody have to go, everybody run to the toilet, everybody have to die. So I really wish all parties should come to a sense of realization and say, listen to me, this thing is senseless, and all this amount of money should be pumped into saving lives and the betterment of mankind. Thank you, my friend. Have a great day.
Yes, I tend to agree with you, daughter, that it's a challenge and it's a good opportunity for us in Grenada to benefit from it. See how do we benefit. Sit down and hold discussion with your children. Let your children know the names of the countries surrounding Russia and Ukraine. Simple little things. Parents, use every opportunity to an advantage. Let your children know the names of the country surrounding Ukraine and Russia. You know more about NATO now and etc. The problem is we don't have mediators in the world. That was a time when the African countries should have come in and mediate, but they take sides. Africa should have been the most independent voice because Africa knows how much they were slaughtered by big countries. So they should have used that now as an opportunity to act as a mediator. Because all countries in the world want to have a peace in Africa. China is on the side looking for opportunity. India on the side looking for opportunity. And Russia decide to conquer. What they would do? Enslave 45 million people. Ukraine have about 45 million people. It is the largest country in that area after Russia. And they produce about 30% of the world grain. So it has serious consequences on us. It could have serious problem for the economy of the Caribbean. And Caribbean leaders have to be careful how they choose side because it has serious consequences. But we as a people in Grenada, at least we have to see how we could benefit from it. Now is a good time perhaps to look at our food stock because food prices are going to be higher. You're going to see less and less choices on the supermarket shelves. Perhaps now is a good time for you to eat munga and shukako, maybe coconut palm and plantain heart. Now is a good time for you to feed your pigs with plantain trees and for you to plant trichantera. You have about 16% protein in it. And to invest more in the root crops and to use more chocolate, cocoa tea rather than coffee and other things. Now is the time. Now is the time for us to invest more instead of behaving like cry baby and expecting that we will get cheaper macaroni. Macaroni going to be more expensive. Rice is going to be more expensive. Lasagna and cheese. Maybe Guyana should be producing more cheese now because Guyana is bigger than England. England could practically go and sit down inside Guyana twice. So now is the time perhaps we in the Caribbean should lobby. When Guyana was selling land, Grenada never buy. Guyana invited, Jagbe invited Caribbean leaders to buy land in Guyana. Grenada should spend 50 million buying land. What if the government did that then? We would have balled for mother. So you see, you need, that is why I like leaders that prepare to take risk. That prepare to take risk. You know? Somebody, I want to read this one on Facebook. The Prime Minister is not riding at the back of his official vehicle. What's the reason why? The Prime Minister riding in the front of a vehicle. Well, any police, any soldier would tell you that is a serious security risk. So the Prime Minister is new to politics. The Prime Minister is new to security. And I don't know whether the Commissioner of Police now must be walking on eggs. Because you don't know if the Prime Minister go fire him and keep him. But the Commissioner of Police must have the guts to tell the Prime Minister he's endangering himself and he's becoming a security risk. Mr. Blaze did that in Canada. They nearly fired the person who bring in the... Mr. Blaze want to ride in the front of the limousine. Well, then you gotta excuse Mr. Blaze, he was an old man. And he wasn't an old man, but he was new, never riding a limousine before. So he want to ride in front. So this young lawyer, who is the Prime Minister of Grenada now, ought to know better. Or by now, he should seek counsel that he's providing a security risk. He's not being humble. He's making the security not effective. Difficult to protect him. The first set of bullets might come in front, but you don't have to worry. He's going to learn sometime. I guess as he gets older, he's going to learn that he must not create a security risk for our people. As he traveled to other countries, he might change that. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, sorry for calling back. I really want to support my friend that just spoke, the Miss Anne-Marie. Sorry for calling him. Good afternoon, Miss Anne-Marie. Yeah, I really support her because too much of money being pumping into that war. I don't understand what is going on, Mr. Pierre. Why did they go and meet, Joe Biden, the guy from Ukraine, and this other guy from England, and the guy in Russia? Let me say 4 or 5 of them see them and let's end this war because
they try that, but they're not able to negotiate.
accomplish nothing.
They can't. No negotiation can.
Okay.
So Russia bombing and they providing means to help Ukraine try to defend itself. Eventually, Russia would win, but it will mash up Ukraine. And Ukraine have about 45
million
people.
They are more powerful than Ukraine.
Yes, but
Ukraine are more powerful than Ukraine.
Ukraine have about 45 million people.
Yeah, that's true.
So the West is hoping that would be a long, drawn-out war that will cripple Russia eventually.
Yeah, well, the G7 just have a meeting, I think, in Germany, and they aiding Ukraine with some, I think, over $1 billion.
$6 billion.
How much?
6 billion.
Yeah, 6 billion in for to get food and put things in place. Yeah. Even not even pumping money into the war. Even look at NASA. NASA has spent $2 billion to get some spacecraft up in space or wherever.
But the money they're spending is theirs. It's not our money.
That's true. But what I'm saying, Mr. I like that.
We have to invest in ourselves.
Yeah,
what we're doing, we're saving, we're not investing.
That's true. I understand what you're saying. But Mr. Pierre, my point is, why spend so much money on nonsense?
Well, it's nonsense to you, but not to them.
Instead, they cannot even solve the problem on Earth, but they're going up in the space. So what they have up there? They not know better. Mr. Pierre, laughing too much. I'm going to talk to you later.
Thank you. Remember, God gave man talents. So nothing is wrong in you using the talents to achieve things. War has been fighting since time immemorial. If you go back once, England and all was enslaved. Sometimes we have an attitude as if we're walking with slavery on our head, blaming slavery for all our inefficiencies, incompetence, and laziness. We take our best brains, we send them to Europe, send them to America, send them to England and other countries, and we sit down in Greater asking England for reparation for slavery, instead of letting our best brains stay and develop our country. And those who are here walking around with a briefcase or certificate as if they're in a new social class. And then we bothering about America spending the money. America is one of the biggest consumers in the world. That is why they could have put pressure on Russia. Because Americans use things. When I pass a year, they throw it out and they buy more. And this helped to run the American economy. And America is a young nation in relationship to China, Japan, Africa, England, France, Spain, Portugal. America is a very young nation. It's a powerful nation. And America has one of the most cosmopolitan countries in the world. I hear people like to run them down about immigration. Why Russia don't have all these cosmopolitan countries? They're more racist than America. Japan, Canada, China, England, all of them is more racist than America. But we join social media and we condemn in America. And they need to be condemned sometime too. The number to call is 442-0175. And we could speak about anything. You're not limited to the issues at hand presently. And as I say, Peter and Paul. Peter was not the smartest disciple. He was not the oldest disciple. Christ chose Peter. He wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the oldest. Paul was a bandit. Paul did all the wrong things. He was persecuting the Christians. He was very knowledgeable. He was much more educated than Peter. He was converted by Christ, and he became one of the greatest symbols of Christianity. You know, and these things are important, particularly for Christians. So when you want to become a Christian, you're not too good. You have to make yourself good. You accept Christ, and then Christ will make you good. Even if you was a bandit and you used to thief, you could change your life. Even if you abandoned your children and you was an alcoholic and you behaved badly, you could change your life. And you could give me a call. Welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good morning.
Yes, my brother.
I'm making a statement. The election was cheated by the NDC.
I did not hear what you said, caller. I'm very sorry, but I did not pick you up. Pick up what you said? Election was cheated by the NDC? No. No. We never cheat in election. Election is free and fair. You see, this time, the side that lose, they concede defeat within 24 hours. They congratulated the winner, and they pledged to work together. They say, we are on philosophical issues that we believe is not in the interest of the country, we're going to object to you. But we're going to support you otherwise. This has always happened. Caller, what happens is when people lose, they tend not to want to accept the loss, and they blame the electoral process. Our electoral process in Grenada is an exceptionally good one, well recognized in the Caribbean. All election in Grenada is free, it is fair, and it is free from fear. Nobody cheats. And I believe this ought to be the turning point. We must not tolerate no losing side to talking this nonsense anymore about who thief and who go in Haiti and all sort of nonsense. It's sheer nonsense. And I believe that the people who have involved in the process over the years, you have a moral obligation to open your voice on these issues and correct people when they want to mislead, when they want to make statements that election in Grenada is suspect. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
A problem I have around my community now is with some animals, stray animals. We have some animal growers. They have 5 mothership. Each of them have 2 young ones, 3 young ones, and all let go. They're more than a year or 2 years old. And my wife, she planted a little can to help herself, and the sheep just straying around and they eating all the corn seeds and them. And these big matches people are having the sheep. 2 and 3, 4 of them they having, and all the sheep just roaming around the place and they eating all my corn and peas. I want them to tie the sheep because I will not be coming and tell them nothing again. I go buy a sack candle and I go rub me can plant on them. And
You're not supposed to do that. If you do that, it is wrong.
Well, I have to. Well, you understand.
Let me tell you what to do. Could you pound the animals?
I will not pound the animal, Mr. Pierre.
You don't want to do right things.
No.
You want to do what is wrong.
Because they do.
Do you want to do what is illegal and wrong?
Well, if you have to be, let it be.
Then you don't need to call radio station to make everybody know you go do what is wrong. They go lock you up.
Thank you very much.
Yes, my friend.
All right.
If you do what you say you do, the police have a right to lock you.
I will take the penalty.
Yes, then don't call the public and tell the public I'm about to commit a crime.
All right. Then.
Don't do that, my brother.
Thank you for your advice. All right.
We always have a problem with people rearing animals in other people's land. It's a real challenge. In yesteryear, big estates had a watchman, and the watchman would shoot the animals. Watchman was given guns, and they would shoot the animals. Now it get a little bit more sophisticated. What farmers could do is to pound the animals. Now, if you put it in your home, it's a lot of challenge. Because these people come in the night and let it go. And you're responsible for it. But if the man have 4, 5, 6 sheep, hire a vehicle and bring it in the prison. That vehicle might charge you $100, $150 for it. And they would have to go and pay in the prison to get back the animals. That is the system. Government don't have no pong yard. So the only place you could put animals, pong animals, is to bring it in the prison. What farmers need to do, maybe lobby the government, lobby the Ministry of Agriculture to change that or to make it easy. Before we had stock control, but we don't have that now. Maybe to make a pong somewhere in a different parish. But the only pong they have is the prison. So it makes no sense you picking up one sheep and go and bring to the prison. The owner of that sheep wouldn't even bother go and clean it. But if it's 8 or 9 or 10, then it would make sense for that owner. But you must not do anything illegal. It doesn't help. If we do wrong, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost that caller. Try again, caller. Yes, we don't encourage anybody to do anything wrong. Don't go contaminating the crops. You're surprised to know after you finish, you are invited in a function and the same animal you compromise, you that eat it. Thief smart, you know. Sometimes thief does make sure your children eat what they thief. And you have some thief that don't eat nothing they thief. You have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
On the same subject matter, the very owners of the animals that go loose, or they loose them to graze, when you tell them about it, they tell you, kill it now, and you go, so what happen to you? Kill it now, they could do anything else. And so your two hands are tied. So sometimes you got to find innovative way to get rid of them.
Sometimes these scholars study the community and they know they could intimidate you. Maybe you don't have children, you are alone in your land, so they don't care. They know you can't do nothing, they go intimidate you and threaten you. We have had instances where over 3 older people, including a man no more, about 80 years, was stoned in their land. These people afraid to go in the land. They were intimidated. So individuals could do that. If you have support, if your children giving you support, they will not do that. But they know in the community, they know you, and they know it's you alone. You have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
How are you doing? And
Great.
good afternoon to you listening public. Mr. Pierre, I didn't hear the gentleman too well concerning some animals, he said?
Yes, animals and people threatening you when you talk about it.
But Mr. Pierre, I know farmers are going through a lot in terms of fertility. But I wouldn't advise no farmers to destroy crops or animals. Because at the end of the day, it's innocent people that are going to be consuming those products.
It is illegal, it is wrong, and they themselves, their children might die.
So that's not the right thing to do.
No, it's not the right thing. It's not a good thing. They should not do that.
No farmers. I wouldn't encourage no farmers to do that. I mean, we know you are losing. At the end of the day, you work, you labor hard on your plantation. But it's not right to poison stuff.
One of the challenges we have, we don't have support from the said farmers.
So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, one of the challenges in dealing in the farming community, the farmers don't support other farmers. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome. Yeah, the farmers don't support other farmers. So farmers in the community hear an individual threatening a farmer, and they laugh, they stay quiet. So that farmer have no support. And particularly, if the farmer is an older person, he don't even get support from his children because children don't really You don't have generational wealth in Grenada. You don't have it passing on. If you watch all the stores and business in Grenada, you don't see no children here. Children in America sweeping floors, walking dog, working in security. Some of the parents is young millionaires in Grenada. Are they in St. George's working in a supermarket or complaining? So they don't give support in that area. So the farmers are, as they advance in age, they particularly become very vulnerable to the system. And it is sad and it's unfortunate, but these farmers must not compound the issue by doing things wrong. If animals are distressing you, I don't know if the law changed in yesteryear, you kill the animal. If it was a sheep or goat, not cow, not cattle. So cattle going to be, cow is just the female that give young already. Normally we call all of them cow, but the right thing is cattle. Cow is the female that have given young. And then you have a heifer, which is a female that never give young. Then you have the bull. All of them is cattle. In big countries, like in other big countries, we use the right word cattle. In small countries, everybody say cow. And then you say bull cow. Right. So what we need there is farmers to work together. A lot of people that rear animals do not have land. How did that come about? Because we are traditional farmers, cocoa, nutmeg, and banana. The estate had cattle because they need organic material, they need manure. But it was able to have restrictions. So they will give workers permission to keep a cattle on pole. And they could only cut grass in the drain and on banks and in rivers. In that way, the drain of the estate always kept clean. They cannot cut grass within the land. But eventually, the estate are segmented and everybody wants animals. But they have no land. So they tie the animals by the road, they graze the animals in people's land, and if they realize you are vulnerable, they threaten you. And we don't have any stock control again. So you are too bad to handle that. If you go in the land and you're bad, you can handle it. But as you get older, they know you can't bother. You can't even run to hold the animal, and they will threaten to stone you if you touch the animal. And you don't have support from other people. Over the last years, there seems to be a constant attack on the older ones. And we're widening the generation gap. This is not taking place in Carriacou as marked as it is in Grenada. In Grenada in particular, we seem to go after the older people quite a lot. They get more quiet because we are attacking them. Maybe we do it because of politics, but it has its rippling effect on the ground, where the older people become much more vulnerable and they don't have the kind of support that you would expect. Because by the time they get old, in a lot of instances, children vex with them too. So they don't have the support, and the same individuals live in the community and they know what the situation is. They know Mr. Jacob vulnerable. None of the children are studying him. Is he that going to land? So they threaten to kill him, and Mr. Jacob had to behave himself. And it is unfortunate and it is sad, but you still cannot compound the issue. Mr. Jacob have to prepare to fight. He has to prepare to fight, to defend what he have. If he die in the process, he die. Nothing wrong with that. You could give me a call. The number to call is 442-0175. And you know we address any issues on this program. The issue of Ukraine, I'm glad the sister bring it up. We must not forget it in Grenada. We are not involved in it. We're far from it. But the consequences of that war, and if it develop into a world war, the consequences on small countries as ours will be devastating. Already you see the shelves. There you see some goods are missing from the shelves, and also the price is increasing. There is not much any government in the Caribbean could do about it. They're going to try to create buffer for the goods that they consider necessities, like chicken wings, turkey, back and neck, milk, baby formulas, these issues. But we as a people have to turn back to the land. And you have to look at goods perhaps you didn't eat before. Spinach, very fast growing. Lettuce, cabbage, grown provisions. And then you have shukako, you have munga. All these things that we ignore for rice, for macaroni, for lasagna, for these products that we import, now we may have to turn back to it. Difficult to get corn for Grenada. Grenadans very sophisticated. They don't bother with dry corn no more. They don't bother. You cannot get peas in the supermarket. Dry peas, you cannot get that. Some people don't plant peas anymore because nobody to pick the peas. You see, we are very happy people. We have a lot of discretionary income, and we cry baby. We crying and complaining. Guy have 2 cars in his house. 2 cars under his house. Big house, But if you hear him complaining every day. And I think this is the big challenge that we have. We have to have a change of mentality, a change of attitude. We have to realize that Grenada has made significant advances irrespective of the politicians and social media. We are in a better position than most countries in the Caribbean. Our political directorates over the years have done a fantastic job. We have not given them praise for it, but it's a fact. And that's why I constantly encourage people to compare and contrast. Find out what is going on in Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and Barbados. And when you do that, compare Grenada with the rest of the region. And you realize that we can hold our end in most areas. And the biggest challenge we have is our mentality and our attitude. This is why we have the hurricane season on. We don't need to panic. I think there's too much readiness to panic without preparation. Family members need to sit and discuss. The younger members of the family who have secondary school education, you should be in the forefront of initiating dialogue in your home. You're badgering. Otherwise, you would have known that because you are better educated, because you have the ability to use modern technology more, you should be the one initiating dialogue within your family to discuss the impact if we have hurricane, war, or negative consequences, what our family is going to do. In some countries, you have to run. If Mount St. Catherine volcano erupt, all Grenadians have to go in Guyana. Dominica and St. Vincent won't want you. You say Grenada? Grenadians like to overthrow country. They just kill their prime minister. We can't want them. They're going to throw you in Guyana. Guyana have a big landmass and they don't have people. So Grenada might be transported to Guyana. I know you don't want to go in Guyana. You want to go in Trinidad and Barbados. But Trinidad go free. Because they say if these Grenadians come up in Trinidad, they go overthrow Rowley. They doesn't behave. They cry baby. So they go send us in Guyana. And Guyana will give you maybe 110, 20 square miles for yourself. They say all Grenadians stay one place. We must sit down and discuss these issues. We have a number of people who walking around town. You see them as historians, psychologists. They are not problem solvers. So if you sit down and discuss these issues with your family, our family will be better prepared to be competitive irrespective of the circumstances. That is what education is about. You practicalize it to development. Young children home. Teach your children home. Let them discuss. We have a war in Ukraine. What are the names of the countries around Ukraine? Who make up NATO? Who make up the EU? The young children will be excited because they're getting new words. Kazakhstan. Some of them words big people can pronounce it. The young ones going to Google and get the pronunciation. A whole set of excitement. And with that, a vocabulary and knowledge is going to come around. Instead that we sit down crying. We're crying, we're complaining about things that are not very important. And this is the challenge we have. We have a kind of lazy mentality. Only winning and crying every day. Not recognizing how fortunate we are. But in this world, things just change. It just change quick. And the time run out for you to call, but we're back with you again tomorrow between 12 and 1. And we encourage you to call on any subject matter. We never have a topic on this program. We started up with Catholics celebrating the feasts of St. Paul and St. Peter, two powerful apostles in the Catholic Church. And Catholics like the saints. When you're born, they give you a saint. You see, just as though if you want to be a good cricketer, you might like Brian Lara, Vivian Richards, a good footballer. In the Christian life, you want a saint. A saint is not a perfect person, but you could, in hard times, you come onto your saint. You don't go and commit suicide. You take your rosary and you pray, and you go back to your saint. So the saints sometimes help you. It helps strengthen you. It helps develop you. And tomorrow, you can also give us a call and punch.
Some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high and sing of your Caribbean pride. Sing it loud and strong, feel the hearts beat as one. Celebrating song as we rise to heights where we belong. Sound of it.
Triple N.